Does Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 suck? As you guys can tell right now, I'm actually not in my studio. I am currently at the office on my lunch break. It's a wonderful day outside. I decided to film it on the road, on the go, outside, because I wasn't able to film it at home. So I want to give you guys my quick thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and let you guys know if it sucks or not. But of course, let me introduce myself. My name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic. Thank you guys so much for being here today. And tell me guys, are you guys big fans of Guardians of the Galaxy? Are you guys big fans of the MCU? Are you looking forward to seeing this movie? I'll be honest guys, I've been off the MCU hype train for quite a long time now, but Guardians of the Galaxy hits a bit different. It's always been its own thing, and I hear an ice cream truck coming by, so if you guys hear some sounds in the background, then I apologize. But whatever your thoughts are of this movie, let me know in the comment section down below, and make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video so you guys know my rating of the film, or else maybe going into a film that might not be right for you. So Guardians of the Galaxy is directed by James Gunn, and he has done the other Guardians of the Galaxy films, the Suicide Squad film, the more recent one, not the David Ayer one. This is another James Gunn movie, and of course it stars all the same Guardians of the Galaxy: Chris Pratt, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldaña, Bautista. Everyone's back, along with other characters. And this story is about Rocket. Rocket Raccoon is really the main character, or the central plot revolves around him in this movie. It's because the people who created Rocket actually want him back for some more experiments. And of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy want to save his life. This movie is very, very good. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably the best movie since Endgame in the MCU. It's better than Black Widow. It's better than The Eternals. It's better than Shang-Chi. It's better than Spider-Man No Way Home. I know that's a controversial opinion because that movie is like a godsend to a lot of people. It's better than Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It's better than Ant-Man Quantumania. It's better than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's better than Thor Ragnarok. It's better than all of those movies for a couple reasons. Number one, I think this is the biggest one, they don't focus on shoving so many things in there that are just setting up other MCU projects. This is a single story all about the Guardians of the Galaxy. It has one vision, and you can really tell that James Gunn still has full creative control. Maybe not full creative control, but lots of creative control over this movie. It doesn't feel like it's just a product made in a lab, you know what I mean? Now sure, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness did have that very Sam Raimi-esque nature to it, and that was probably the best part of that movie. But you could even tell though that they were trying to force a lot of things into that movie that were just like the corporate, oh, we need to put this in there for the next MCU project. This movie felt singular, and I really, really enjoyed that. But the overall movie, it was exciting, it was emotional, it was engaging. Like, this is the most I've ever felt emotionally invested in a Marvel movie since No Way Home. All the other Marvel movies I felt have been very dull in that regard, in terms of like getting me to actually get emotional and really get invested and really care about what's happening in the movie. Like, the stakes are big. Now, again, there's not like a cataclysmic event in terms of like the whole universe is gonna be destroyed. It's not like another Thanos. Sure, our villain has some pretty big evil plans, but it's a personal story. This movie's story is really about saving one of our friends. This movie is really about Rocket Raccoon. And because we love these characters, when one of them is on the brink of death and we want to save him, it's a very admirable task, and we want our heroes to succeed. We're like, we need to save our friend too, because a lot of people, and this movie does a really good job at this, the movie makes it feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy are our friends. Like, we really care about these characters. And his backstory and all the flashbacks with his backstory are just so well done. They're so riveting, they are so emotional, they are so just well crafted. I was so engaged in his backstory. I really, really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, if you guys cry easily in movies, yeah, watch out for this one. I also really got invested in Peter and Gamora's love story, because if you guys don't know, a little bit of a spoiler for Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, the Gamora in Peter Quill's universe is gone. But now that we have a new Gamora from another universe, she's not the same Gamora, so they no longer have that relationship. And Peter Quill and Zoe Saldaña's Gamora, there's bugs everywhere, coming to terms with that fact and just moving on and dealing with loss. It's another aspect of the movie that I thought was, you know, really welcome and really well done. Again, like, these characters, we care about them so much that when they go through emotional moments, you know, you really got to make sure that they work, and they do in this movie. The soundtrack, we have lots of new songs. Of course, that's very Guardians of the Galaxy. The action, while there isn't much of it in the first little bit, the action scenes are very, very engaging, a lot of fun. And I mean, the CGI is just excellent. Like, the effects are really, really well done as well. And the stakes, like I said earlier, they feel real. Like, we feel like our characters are actually in some danger. And like I said earlier, just being in this universe with our friends again, it's a really fun place to be. Now, I only have two problems with the movie. Two, I would say, major problems with the movie. Number one is that I do think that the movie's too long, and that's because the first 45 minutes of the movie, I feel like they really drag. And when I was watching it, I'm like, oh my God, are we really doing this again? Like, we have another MCU movie with just the same jokes, the same effects, nothing really too intriguing with the story. Like, it really took a while to get going, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling anything. But after the hour mark, it really started to win me over. We start to learn more about Rocket's backstory, and the stakes start to raise, and we get to go to some new planets. And yeah, that's the thing, it just takes a while to get going. And unfortunately, also, the villain is not very interesting. Now, he is menacing, and he does work for the movie, but same way that Billy Zane works in Titanic, he's not the most interesting villain or the most compelling villain, but you hate him because the movie knows you gotta make the audience hate the villain no matter what tricks you use, no matter how cheap. And you see this guy do some terrible experiments on animals. Little Rocket Raccoon, he's got some friends, a little bunny, a little otter, a walrus, and there's some really terrible experiments that go on with them. And he's screaming and he's over the top and he's just a real evil prick. And so you're like, yeah, I hate this guy. And of course he has some big evil plans. And yeah, so you really do not like this guy, but I'll be honest, I can't remember his name right now. And that's a bad sign. I don't necessarily know why he's doing the things that he's doing. I don't really know why he has this obsession with creating the perfect species and doing all these experiments on Rocket Raccoon. The fact that he does them makes him hateable, and he works for the movie because of that. A good antagonizing force, but not the most compelling or interesting antagonizing force. And Adam Warlock is in the movie. I do think he's very underutilized, and I honestly think that you could just write him out of the movie. It wouldn't really make a big difference. Sure, his character does come into play a couple times in some key moments, but I do think that you could easily write around that. So that's the thing, he's very underutilized and somewhat disappointing because I actually do like his character, I do like his powers, but in the grand scheme of things, I just don't think he really fits. But those are my two major problems with the movie, but they don't deteriorate from the overall experience, and this movie ends on such a high note. Like, seriously, I'm still thinking about it, and a lot of people in my theater were crying. I didn't necessarily get to that point, but I was just in a really good mood afterwards, and I was nostalgic for the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I just really like these characters. They're funny, they're witty, they have a great friendship, and you see them as your friends. So for an overall rating, I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, and I don't know how the MCU can really keep up if we're gonna be making movies like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and The Eternals, when movies like this, the singular story with a vision, are the stories that really work, in terms of, you know, my opinion, of course. So there you go, guys. That's my first review on the go. Hopefully you guys could hear what I'm saying. You know, I know that there were trucks going by, an ice cream truck that was driving by, some guy with a giant lawnmower that was going by as well. Hopefully they didn't ruin the audio too much. But either way, now you know my thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy. Hopefully you enjoy the movie. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. I'm gonna plug in my Patreon as well. We do monthly watch-alongs, and I give you guys movies every single month as well. It's a great time, and you guys get to see videos early. So if you guys want to support the channel, then Patreon is down below in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.